And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3. This is the second part of the first stream in as USA in 1.12.1. Obviously this stream is all going to be on the same patch number. Would not be surprised if there's a patch before we get around to the second stream. So let some time pass. We got about 2 years out before well, just under 2 years we're going to declare war on Mexico. Hopefully the pro-slavery movement will be gone by then. I would do things to calm them down quicker, right? Because one of the things they're pissed off about is too much military in the north and not enough in the south, by disbanding some military in the north. But we have a pro-slavery movement that is radicalized to the point where I can't do that. So I just have to deal. There's a rifling. Okay. How profitable is the guns? It's being exported because we're driving the price down, but we are subsidizing it to do that. I suppose one thing I can do to get the price up a little bit higher is engage in free trade on guns. And then we are going to swap to the improved PM. I think that will be net productivity, even though we're just going to be subsidizing guns into the market and then have to get sold abroad for the moment. Gold fuel depleted. Always let them go. So probably when we're done with the current queue, we're going to want to build the gold mines. I'm to actually put them at the top of the queue. Let's just put them at the top of the queue. Dies. Circuit engines when they're built. And if I am desperate to get rid of the negative income here, I could technically end the tax cuts early. Indian removal will offer some assistance, so a few of them die. Take the bonus points for feeders. And there's the Seminole Peace one. So one of the bugs people were running into was if you didn't finish colonizing Florida by the time you started the Civil War, the CSA could start colonizing Florida mid-war. And then you would annex everything except for the bit they colonized, which was not intended. Well, people think it's not intended. It may actually. Well, pretty sure it's not intended. I think it's intended that you're supposed to finish colonizing before you do the stuff with Florida. Colony growth speed. I assume now that we have all of Mexico, we can start stating Florida. Yeah. Florida's done, so Florida can start joining the Union. Which will speed up all the other colonies. We're done with tech. I need to keep tech going. Do I want to move on to production, or do we want more military techs before the wars start? We'll take those two, and then probably go production tech from there. Yeah, and then we probably do production tech. Another 5-ish years. Or, no, 5. Another year. It's 5 a year. Let me see if I can mental math correctly. Okay, first gold mine's complete. It'll higher up, and the minting here is probably going to be worth more than the subsidy, is the plan with why I have it subsidized. I suspect it may need to be literally subsidized, but... I'm surprised that we've got a coal shortage. Well, I say coal shortage, that coal is as low as it is. No, it's only 30%. Just low enough, or just high enough to get into the expensive range. The game marks, okay. There's the labor movement. Yeah, the pro-slavery movement is a little grumpy. But this is because we've got too many barracks in the north and not enough in the south. And it's just going to deal with it because I don't feel like fixing that for it. One month remaining. Okay, so let's start the Mexico War. Assuming lots of people aren't coming off the benches to cause a problem. So we'll go for Texas to start with. Return Texas. Tax cuts are complete, so we can go back to normal taxes. Mexico, of course, refuses the demands. Anyone willing to... Well, it's only the British. Only the British can pick sides, and the British are likely not strong enough to make a big difference. Or not interested in coming in either, so it should work out. You go there, you go there. Apparently it's a 3-front reward at the moment. Give each our generals a single promotion here. And then we are going to mobilize conscripts to bring these forces up to size. It's like 45 for you. Another 45 for you. And then like 55 here. There we go. Now this is going to make it expensive to wage this war, but should result in a very quick defeat for good old Mexico. We want to do return states, yes. California, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and what they have, Colorado. Wait for me to go down a little bit. And they just want to humiliate us in return, which is acceptable. Oops. Ideally, we want to stay below 25. You know what? Let's push the last one. Close enough to it. It's probably not going to be a problem. In fact, I should do one quick check on the British. Send diplomats to calm them down after the whole hullabaloo that is the Mexican-American War. Take the university. Exile the Gates, who's a land reformer. But we'll accept them. I don't really want them, but we'll accept them. Usurper has new victims. We'll pay the authority cost for that. What's the opinion of that movement? Negative? Okay, negative you can leave it. So again, this should be a war that's pretty easy to fight and win. Just because our army is going to rapidly outnumber the Mexicans. The professional Mexican army will suffer from the National Militia Army of the United States. Okay, I'm gonna raise taxes so we can cover the deficit. And I think we're actually winning now at this point. I don't think there's anything to stop the Mexicans from just surrendering, other than their war support, which will rapidly decline. So I want all the things, Mexico. Okay, I need to spare one of the armies to go put that down. Although, at this point, I don't think we need it to help against the Mexicans, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we propose a peace deal. There we go. The United States is much bigger. Oh, no, not stating yet. We want to start the colonies up. Okay. More resources. Iron looks fine. Wood we could probably do with more. Okay. Oh, and there's another 2 more gold mines in Colorado. Do those. And then wood. New York. 10 or 10 logging camps in New York then. We'll quickly win that war, and then I'll probably instigate the Civil War. There we go. Turn the game speed down for this instigation. So I suppose the one thing I should do, if we can get away with it, is... Hey, England. Would you agree to an alliance? I'm going to use my obligation to bring you around. Yes. And now we will do what the British want us to do, which is end this evil institution that is slavery. Now, this should very rapidly lead to civil war. Pro-slavery, people are obviously predicted activism is 100% making civil war imminent. Yep, that was expected. And apparently we're going to not have Florida joining the civil war. Because they haven't been in the Union long enough to want to join that side. Pharmaceuticals or sewage? I prefer sewage. Gotta deal with all that pollution I make in this game. Organized crime. I got the authorities. It's in the authority of We got the bastard. Okay. Authority down, authority up. Yeah, we got a pretty good success rate for the slavery band. I wouldn't actually be surprised if we somehow managed to pass it before the revolt happens. I could even potentially bribe the Southern Planters to not be opposed to it, and then it almost certainly would pass. We're not going to do that. We get a free passage to slavery band if the Civil War actually happens. I suppose we should check up on the PMs. We just inherited a bunch of former Mexican territory. So we may have changed some of my PMs. We might have some mixed PMs somewhere. If I start importing silks, it'll probably be worth doing that, but we don't have silks. We're not China, we don't natively have that. Move you over the sugar beets. I don't think we're that desperate for sugar, because we have the south, and we can make sugar down south. Steam-powered mills, interesting. So when we're ready to industrialize, we want more coal and engine demand. We should just swap to that. Okay, so it doesn't look like I got too many mixed. The university's mixed. Fix that. Are the Paris. General training. There we go. Not too many mixed PMs. And then we wait for the Civil War to start. And unlike the historical Civil War, we should have the British coming in off the sidelines to help the North win the war. Which is very much the opposite of what the South would have wanted. Life among the lowly. Yeah, let's make him well liked. Yeah, we'll turn the game speed up a little bit here. We're paying down our credit a bit on the higher head taxes. Because I think I would still want them on when we're doing the Civil War. When the Civil War is over and I can downsize the army a bit, I might downsize the taxes a bit. I'll probably also start spending the authority on consumption taxes. Modern sewage, that's nice. Partisan papers. We'll get paper mill through, but because we don't actually want the opposition to be strong this election. Okay, so not this tick, but the next tick, the Civil War will start. Bessemer process, that'll make the steel mills better. Well, better in that they make more steel, not that they're So it actually makes too much steel in our case, so it makes them a little expensive. A little bit more expensive. Yep, there's our Civil War. Okay, so we're up to 11. We want to conscript up some more. Then we're gonna put about 50-ish, right? So 44. Yeah, about right for you. And then we want more conscripts here. You've got 18 base, so we want like 42 if we can get it. And then you're nothing but conscripts at this point. Because all your forces were actually in the south, and they're rebelling south. And everyone loses votes, although swinging heavily towards the Republican Party at this point. So instead of being called the Whigs, they're now the Republicans. Clearing of the East. And we've ended the issue, the Indian Removal Act issue, not by actually the good way of ending it, but by the fact that apparently none of these Native Americans live in the United States of America at the moment. Because they all currently live in the succeeding South, or CSA, so so the problem's not a problem anymore. We're not going to play as the CSA. Southern Declaration of Succession. A convention of pro-slavery states has declared their independence from us as the Confederate States of America. The Union has been challenged but will not yield so easily. A house divided against itself will not stand. For the Union. And of course, we have someone who can come off the back lines to come help us. And there's the Emancipation Proclamation. By this stroke, we shall save the Union. The supporters of slavery and rebellion, we can issue a proclamation to free all slaves in rebellious territories. This is the first but most significant step in total abolition. A little early. You actually expect there to be some fighting before you'd be able to do that, but nope, the game just lets you do it. You know, we're just gonna... We could do an election and let people into government. But that would actually make the government apparently less righteous by letting the industrialists back in. So I'm just not gonna do it, because you can be mean to the government sometimes like that. Yeah, you won the election, but you're not in government. You have the job. Why? Because you're not a slaver. Great locomotive chase. Again, this should really wait until you know the war is actually happening to happen, but... Twitch chat's asking, already in the Civil War? Yeah. The Civil War is easier the earlier you do it, is my experience with the Civil War. So, we intentionally triggered it the moment we were done with Mexico. I remember to bring England in. Yes. So England and Canada are coming in from the north. So yeah, there should be a quick defeat of the South. when I should queue up more buildings, because we apparently have gone through the government queue. Wood's starting to look decently priced. Let's do coal. Oh, gold. Oh, actually, nope. All the domestic gold's built already. So coal. So it's 40 each. We have like 5-6 gold, or 5-6 coal mines. We'll do 6 in Ohio. Yeah, I think from a law standpoint, I think there's any other laws we want to pass. Got no support moving off of anti-strike. Okay, so I could technically pull off those amendments. I didn't like them. Second Amendment of the Constitution, okay. So, that's what that amendment is, okay. Yeah, I don't think, well, at some point we'll get off per capita. No one currently supports moving off of it in the direction we'd want. Keep no home affair, or go move off of no home affairs onto guaranteed liberties. Actually, you know what? We'll do that. We'll start that move. I don't want to lower the taxes. Political concessions gets added to it. You know what? I'm on board that. There's a small chance. Or guaranteed liberty is easier to complete. A cry for freedom. Oh, the armed forces are now grumpy. Can I bribe the armed forces as well? Yeah. And the South is handily losing the Civil War. So in just a couple weeks, the South has lost. Crush Confederate succession. Did that pull? No, it has not unstated in my territory, so that's good. Let's see, California and Nevada. We've got all the mainland colonies going. That's good. I need to research quinine at some point, so we can go ahead and complete the Oregon border dispute to get the whole continental United States. Reconstructing the nation. A house divided against itself cannot stand. For the Union. As Reconstruction, readmit succession of states, equality for all, and the Wild Wild West. Oh, so that's going to complete pretty quickly, I think. Partially because we haven't necessarily stated the Wild Wild West yet. Some of these things work easier when you haven't done various things. Quality for all. Average acceptance to Afro-American pops is 60 or greater, which means you have to get cultural exclusion. Readmit the succession of states. Get them loyalist again. Of course, because of how related the Dixie and Yankee cultures are, you don't necessarily need to keep them a primary culture. It's not as beneficial as getting Afro-American a primary culture. And then Reconstruction here. Will complete if you have reconstructed the formerly rebellious states within 12 years. And I think that's basically just telling us we got those ones off active. Okay. Oh, I suppose that's one way around it. Do you want the Dixies happy, or make them pissed, but we can get more towards equality for all? That's average acceptance. What's their current acceptance? That's fervor. That's not what I'm looking for. Before temporary modifiers. Okay. So that's quite a hurdle trying to get them up to 60 without trying to pass cultural exclusion. There is actually quite a bit of support for cultural exclusion. Could try to do that. We'll think about doing that. But in this case, we're going to say we can't alienate the local leaders because we want the Dixies loyalists so we can get re-emit succession of states complete. That's more trade per trading center. Gotta go back and fix all the PMs. Okay. Let's PM's check. Oh, and I need to get more tech going. So I think it's just production tech at this point. That's what we want to do. Unless I want to go with like multiculturalism. Yeah, we're a long way from multiculturalism. That's human rights. I suppose I could push to quinine. That wouldn't be too hard. Okay, let's do that. Push the quinine. Power the intelligentsia. Acres and a mule. Again, we're gonna favor the Dixies. In theory, if I can get this to go away, then we can just go full hog on that and not really care. Tempter Vanderbilt's life. Cornelius Vanderbilt is dead. Who's the head of the industrialists now? Just, William Cramp. Just cramp on the industrialist style at this point. Guaranteed Liberties is done. An offer you can't refuse, apparently. Market is the new president. Mark Webber, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna keep the current government. I need to put more in the queue construction-wise. Definitely demand for more wood. Get some more wood going. There, 10 in Ohio. Take the tax down to neutral. But instead we're gonna add some consumption taxes. Tobacco. Services. And then coffee and luxury furniture. Okay. Play for power. Give them some more political power. Okay, law-wise. Yeah, we have decent support for cultural exclusion. At the drawback, we got a lot of opposition. Okay, let's try to enact this. We can negotiate. So they're refusing to negotiate. The petite bourgeoisie, on the other hand, would negotiate. And that would probably significantly reduce the opposition. Yeah, but 15%. What do they want? That's more in government administration. Lower taxes I don't really want to do. I'm on board with that, but I suspect that's not easy to do. Increase the average standard of living to 12.7. Yeah, no. I think that's a bit hard. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of government admin. That's 42 to 90? You want me to more than double the size of the government? It might actually be easier to afford the lower taxes. Okay, I'm gonna give into this. We're gonna do that one. Abandon commitment or announce delay. We'll add 3 years to journey entry. Okay, so we could definitely stall this. We needed to stall this. Foreign manifesto. Moving towards having reserved coffee. We'd have to be making more coffee to make this work. Then we'd have luxury coffee to export to the world. steamers. I'm gonna go for equality for all. See, well, if we can get a cultural exclusion passed. So there is an argument. Yeah, let's press this button. It's gonna piss off the Dixies if we start focusing heavily on them, but. Culture exclusion may actually fail at this rate. We're definitely going to get a stall, I think. We're allied with the British. The British may call us in. There's the British call. This is the side where I'm going to get charged infamy for taking stuff. Well, most of the stuff we'd want. Yeah, we're going to play this as we're in the war, but we're not really helping. Style. This will get up to 14, but if I just tank it, we'll go up to 29. So I'm actually better off taking an enhancement hit, like so. We'll get a setback and we'll jump to 29. And Twitch chat asks, you've already resolved the conflict in less than 2 years? Sorry if I'm a little bit responding to the slow responding to it. Yeah. The Civil War, if you plan for it in Victoria 3, is real easy to deal with. Because you have the superior industry in the north, so it's just, are you willing to draft crazy enough to crush the south real quick? And if you are, then the south loses, is basically how that works out. As it with Netherlands. Cambria. I got the bureaucracy to pay here, so we'll go with that option. We're more likely to fail than to succeed on this, but if we succeed, then we can get equality for all and get Afro-American as a culture. Okay, now that we're basically at our base of 30, this may be worth grabbing, because this will be +5 enactment chance. We'll take a setback. Take one more setback, yeah. It's probably going to fail. Yeah, we advanced the study. So we got one of the 3 required successes. We've had 2 of the setbacks, so we have a major setback that we can't skip. It will fail. Can we negotiate at the mutual? Yeah. Gunfight at the corral. Ooh. 34% chance of cultural exclusion passing. And we get end to segregation in the United States real early, which I suppose is a good thing. There we go. I got real lucky there. Okay, so that's going to make equality for all real easy. Because now it's trending to a base, I think, of 60. I think it's trending to a base of 60. Society, Afro-American, base is 60, yeah. May take them a while to get there, but... Current average acceptance is 25, we're going to get them to 60. Okay, I think I need to build up more construction. Colonization of Texas is complete. So we'll start making Texas a state. Oh, and apparently I'm going to re-add all this. Okay. Nope, and the British are losing the war. Oh well. Didn't really care about that war, so that's fine. There's pharmaceuticals, that's good. Canned meat. Actually, I should probably go canned fish. And fish. Okay, we probably need more construction sectors so we can get it. Support it. Campaign financing. We do want them to have more momentum because we like to keep them the party in charge. Give him honorable. It's honorable. Faction of interest groups in government if he's the leader. Extra popularity. Makes him bad at RGOs, but makes him kill less people. It's not too bad. Yeah, take that. I need more construction. To be fair, probably go just Japan for now. So what's going is the private queue is expanding, and we're on laissez-faire. Although we've got an effect that's providing more time modifier, providing more government queue. But most of it is immediately going to the private sector. And the private sector is expanding faster than my construction is. I need more construction again. Steamers. Trying to boost Afro-American support. Oops, put another 10 there. So who won the election? And does it make sense? It probably makes sense at this point to bring in specialists. We'll join the Republican Party in the next election. You mean the current election? Okay, we're gonna need more government admin. We've just got enough workers to hire up, I think, for what we got there, so we need to build a different state. Next sensible one is New York. And what I need, 33 more. The other 33 in New York. Well, there's a couple other states I need. I need one there in Ohio. Okay. Back off to New York. Bison hunting. Colony speed, please. Acres and a mule for the Afro-American pop support. Average up to 20, or what is it up to? 32. So we're about, well, halfway to 60, but we started at 20, so we've only made like a quarter of the distance. Need more construction. Actually, no, we're about right on construction. I think we just caught up on the private queues, just build holds. Okay. Alright, not more construction. Although, maybe more things. More paper. Definitely more paper. Yeah, more paper. 5 more paper mills. So as soon as we complete valued investments, we'll build paper. I suppose I can always use all this bureaucracy for something. Law enforcement, education, home affairs. There we go. So that one's done. I don't need to worry about that failing. Almost done with the Wild West. And then the Wild West events will stop. Most of the Wild West events are just bad. I suppose we could also move against some of these amendments. Although, not actually opposed to some of these. Like, okay, yeah, we probably want to move against this one. We really like the EU. It's often hard to get political support for certain parties. We'll just let those amendments stick around. Is there any other laws I want to pass? I think the answer is no. Yeah, the answer is no until we want to move on to, like, proportional. And free trade. Lots of opposition to free trade. For some reason, I've empowered the farmers. The farmers do not appreciate competition. You can backslide, technically, on this combination acts. Which I suppose, if I wanted a communist movement, would actually be a way to go. So after the paper's done, we need more wood. We need a lot more wood. So we're getting 35 each. So 40 levels of logging camp. We'll go with that. Oh, I haven't been paying attention. We have an iron shortage. Iron is even more important than the lumber. There's gonna be 30 levels of this. Domestic, please. I'll click 30 times. Couple pages. Push the paper mills to the top. So do you want to finish them up? And then we'll fix the iron problem. And that'll probably make us more profitable. The big expense on the government budget right now is iron. Your petition government for what? Property women. Sure. Could negotiate with both the opposition and the favoring parties. Administrative construction decaying. Yeah, I can work with that. As long as they're actually both decaying, that's not a problem. Okay, gold depletion, so that's going to be more gold mines. Influence in Hawaii. Sure. Hawaii would not become one of the states, I believe, during the time period of this game. I think it was just after World War II when it became a state. It's obviously the next game. It may even literally be a decision in the next game, I think. Is Alaska and Hawaii. I think we're the last two states to join the Union. When steel's up, okay. There's quinine. So that gives us the ability to start mapping the American Western frontier. I know just the person for the job. And Hull, Seth, or Scott. Send Scott. And then tech-wise, I think as far as society tech, we're good for the moment. Let's pop over to production, start getting some of the good production techs. So, water tube's going to be good. Baking powder is going to be good. Nitroglycerin, if it hasn't finished by then, will be good. Mechanized tools, and then we'll finish up tier 2. Explosives, some dynamite, shift work, pump jacks. And then we'll see where we are at that point. The Wild Wild West complete. Okay, so that means we're gonna have fewer bad events. Canvas of ideas. The intelligentsia is happy enough I can tell them to learn brevity. It's something I need to learn IRL. I don't think anyone's been exploring out here, so we can get minor progress, or we got a 60% chance we hit the summit. And it's worth trying to hit the summit if you haven't been to the summit yet, or if no one else has been to the summit. So we'll probably be the first one to get there. We did succeed to get up there, so we get progress instead of minor progress. Snow on the ground. We'll take the 6% chance. Got good progress. Good. Yeah, I'm not worried about enactment times. Make a proper rebuttal. It was a good thing we didn't send Isaac home, because he's dead. Stop on the way. Perfect place to build a fort. Yeah, we'll build the fort. Then, if we can ever come back, because you can do the Western Frontier Expedition multiple times. Then, if you ever come back, you can get bonuses for saying hello to the fort. Parasited. Grizzle bear hunt. Failure. No. It's probably a woman. Okay. Good news. There's nitroglycerin. If we got the explosives, and we might not have the explosives. We want to turn that on. We might not be able to afford to turn that on everywhere. You on subsidize. We already were subsidizing you, okay. Turn the gold ones on at least. See where the market is at that point. Explosives. Minus 9%? Okay, we can tolerate a little bit more. Let's do lead. Do more than lead. Let's do sulfur next. Earth opens its mouth. Yeah, from there. And yeah, we'll need to build more explosives before we can put nitro in the coal and iron mines. Yeah, and our main cost is construction. Oh, apparently it's actually paper. Mostly spending paper. Oh, well, I suppose we are spending a lot on construction, which is mostly iron and wood. Yeah, so iron, wood, paper. If those prices down, we'll be back in the green. Here we go. No longer busy. He gains Explorer. Gain 20% prestige. A disappointment, but an educational one. The Beno Atrura River. A long, arduous journey. The expedition has finally come to an end. The most interesting discovery of the journey was that the long, fabled river does not actually exist. Okay. Bit of a shame. That's not the one we wanted. Because to end the Oregon border dispute, we need to have mapped the Oregon Trail. So there's a 33% chance we'll hit the one we wanted. We did not hit the one we wanted. And I think there's a cooldown before we can do it again. Explore the West. Need at least 3 American characters that are... Oh, I need another character. That works. Liberal or slavers? We'll take liberal. Now that's available again, so press that button. Another person for the job. We can send Scott, our explorer, out again. And now he has a 50% chance to hit the one we want. A new quest. Let's do peaceful intentions. Is there anyone here who can guide us? Is there more states I can state? Yes. When the earth opened its mouth, making her way through the mountains, the expedition finds the dangerous gorge. The native guides Justice from a path where she used to cross with her tribe. So because we went and met with the natives and got a guide, instead of having a we avoid the danger or we take the risk, we now have she knows the path. The expedition is traveling the native guide. Bonus progress. Snow on the ground. We got 81% chance of surviving the snow, so we'll do it. Progress made. Paramilitary intimidation. We need the Afro-Americans to gain. We're up to 43. We need to get to 60 within 5 years. So that is, I think, halfway from the base where we started at the beginning of the reconstruction. So, in fact, it's past halfway. So we're making good time. We do a little bit better, but we're making decent time. Colonization New Mexico's done. Successful bear hunt. Oh, I'm getting carried away. Looking at the time, I should put a part break in, and it is time for the tea break. Because the tea's about to disappear. If you're watching on YouTube, we will presumably, if everything goes according to plan, have the Continental 48 done. Tomorrow, I think, is when we'll probably get it done. Obviously, we need the Oregon Trail to get the Oregon, and the colonization is proceeding at pretty good speed. The more we get done, the quicker it will go, because the more we can focus on what's left. We're trying to balance the economy primarily by lowering construction costs and generating more revenue. Construction costs are mostly iron and wood, and then the other government cost, major cost, is paper. So if we can drive those three down, then we'll have a much more balanced budget. Yeah, so we're working on wood. After we're done with the wood, we're probably going to do explosives, so we can put the nitro in the iron and coal mines. That's where we are at the moment. Before I get too carried away and let the episode go even longer, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.